Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We had a game yesterday. I am running kind of a homebrew version of Return to the Tomb of Horrors. And one of my players is playing a Ranger Gloomstalker fighter rogue combination. Characters are all 14th level. And this character puts out a lot of damage. And I was thinking about this release that we're getting of this high-level adventure soon that is the Eve of Ruin. It's the Vecna adventure. And does Vecna have a Gloomstalker problem? But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I got another video coming out. All right, so we got this. Today is the 19th. This was basically came out a week ago, saying, what is Vecna, Eve of Ruin? High stakes, high level adventure to save reality. So it's the next big thing they're going to come out with, and it is the last adventure book before the new edition comes out. It is going to be, you'll be able to get early access on the book on May 7th. So it says that it is going to be high level. So the adventure will start at 10th, and they will need to get to 20th level in any hopes of taking him on. So 20th level characters. So then they talk about Vecna and yada, yada, yada. So we got a version of Vecna. I think this was a couple of years ago when they were redoing some of the monster stat blocks for Dungeons and Dragons. And Vecna always carries the Book of Vile Darkness, blah, blah, blah. So this is the version that we got a couple of years ago. And they took spells out of the spell blocks of creatures, which I thought was a huge, gigantic mistake. So this is supposed to be a penultimate creature. He's a challenge rating 26. And so let's take a little bit of a look at him. He's got some pretty cool stuff. He's got 5 legendary actions. He's got this afterthought ability. So when he attacks, he uses Flight of the Damned if it's available, which is a rechargeable attack, Rotten Fate, or spell casting. And then he makes 2 afterthought attacks, which afterthought attacks are kind of his melee attacks. I don't know why this guy would ever be in melee weapon range with anything. It does very, very little damage. And they got to make a saving throw, or they take this damage every turn. Flight of the Damned, so he conjures a torrent of flying spectral entities. Saving throw, and on a failed save, it's 36 necrotic damage, and they're frightened. Or Rotten Fate, which can happen every single turn. Targets one person, one creature within 120 feet, and they take 96 points of damage. And if they're killed, they rise as a zombie. And then he's got spells, but Animate Dead is an action. Detect Magic. He's got Dispel Magic. He's got Fly, Lightning Bolt, Mage Hand, and Prestidigitation. He could do Dimension Door twice a day, Invisibility twice a day, Scrying twice a day as an action, Dominate Monster once, so on and so forth. He's got Vile Teleportation, which allows him to teleport 30 feet as a bonus action. And then he's got this Dreadful Counter Spell, which does some damage, and it'll counter spells. He's also got Fell Rebuke. These are both reactions. But he has no legendary actions, and there are no layer actions described in here whatsoever at all. So all in all, so a couple things that I notice here. He's got an 18 armor class. If these are 20th level characters going after that, they are going to annihilate that. He has a initiative of +3. He will not be going first. Probably he will be going last, unless you roll really, really good. But a lot of characters at 20th level are going to have ways to get around initiative. So I created a Gloomstalker who is 20th level. So actually this character is 19th level. Ranger, no, I'm sorry, they are 20th level. Ranger 6, Fighter 11, Rogue 3, okay? And we are a Ranger Gloomstalker, we are a Fighter Battlemaster, and we are a Rogue Assassin. We have a plus 17 to our stealth. We have advantage on that because we have a Cloak of Elvenkind. We have Braces of Archery, only a plus 2 longbow. A 20th level character will probably have something more powerful than this. Plus 2 longbow, Ring of Spell Storing, Bracers of Archery, Cloak of Elvenkind, and Serpent Scale Armor, just because it's light and whatever. This gives bonus to damage. This gives advantage on stealth hide checks to visual. Now, I will point this out that Vecna has True Sight, but that doesn't mean that he's going to automatically see something that's hiding. It only allows sight. It doesn't allow awareness. He does have a passive perception of 25, which is very high, but this Gloomstalker on average is going to get a 32. And if they have Pass Without Trace on, it's going to be a 42. And the reason I say it's a 32 because if you roll two 20-sided dice and you take the best of the two, the average is not going to be 10 or 11. It's going to be 14 or 15. So he is going to beat this passive perception. And if we look at the rules for combat, now we're just painting a picture of a scenario in which a group of 20th level characters comes up against Vecna, and they have had some prep time. He may have had some prep time, but as you can see, there's not a whole lot in his stat block to prep. He doesn't have magic items. He doesn't have a whole long list of spells. So there is that. He is kind of bare bones. It says that he has the Book of Vile Darkness, and so, but he doesn't have a whole lot. All right, so the Gloomstalker is going to come in, hiding, of course, because if I were playing a Gloomstalker, I would never enter combat not in stealth. I would always be walking with stealth, no matter what. And we're going to come in, and we need to highlight this part of the player's handbook. This is the combat system, step by step, for surprise and initiative. So a band of adventurers sneaks up, blah, blah, blah. The DM determines who might be surprised. If neither side tries to be stealthy, they automatically notice each other. But our Gloomstalker is trying to be stealthy. So otherwise, the DM compares the Dex stealth check of anyone hiding with the passive perception score of each creature on the opposing side. Any character or monster that doesn't notice a threat, they're not aware of it, is surprised at the start of the encounter. All right. So I'm pointing that out for a very specific reason, because this particular Gloomstalker, who is also a rogue assassin, has the Assassinate ability. Starting at 3rd level, you are at your deadliest when you get the drop in your image. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the combat. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. Any hit and they're surprised for an entire turn. So, now, what is this character's initiative score? This character's initiative score is plus 12, which means that this character, on average, is going to be rolling a 22 for initiative. Vecna's initiative score is only a plus 3, which means Vecna will be rolling, on average, a 13, and probably will not see our Gloomstalker. Will not see them. As the Gloomstalker comes in, the Gloomstalker also is a sharpshooter with a longbow, which means a longbow has a range of 600 feet. So the Gloomstalker is not going to be close, and he has no disadvantage on far attacks. So he can hit Vecna from very, very far away. So initiative gets rolled. The Gloomstalker wins. The Gloomstalker was a hiding. Vecna is not aware. And then Vecna is going to start taking attacks. The Gloomstalker is going to use their bonus action to Hunter's Mark. So we do have to be kind of close for that. Not super close, but kind of close. We need to be 90 feet away. Okay, so 90 feet is where we need to go. Hunter's Mark goes, and then we start. Now, this is a Gloomstalker. which means as a Gloomstalker, Ranger Gloomstalker is right here, and he has Dread Ambusher. At the start of your first turn of each combat, your walking speed increases by 10, which lasts until the end of your turn. If you take the attack action, we are taking the attack. We use our bonus action, a Hunter's Mark, and then we take the attack action. If you take the attack action on that turn, you make one additional weapon attack as part of that action. If that attack hits, the target takes an extra D8 of the weapon's damage. So, this particular character also has 11 levels of fighter for a very specific reason. Because as an 11th level fighter, we get 3 attacks when we take the attack action. So we take the attack action, we get 3 attacks as a fighter, plus our Gloomstalker attack. That's 4 attacks. And we are going to be doing, on average, well, let's get to the 2-hit part of this. On average, because we're going to be using Sharpshooter, so we're going to take a -5, but we have advantage because we're hidden. So remember I said if you're just rolling a d20, you're going to get a 10 or 11 on average. If you have advantage, you're going to be getting a 14 or 15. So on average, we're going to have instead of a +15 to hit, we're going to have a +10 to hit, but we're going to be rolling a 14 or 15. On average, we're going to be getting a 24 or 25 to hit. And Vecna has a whopping 18 armor class for a challenge rating 26 creature. This Gloomstalker is going to hit almost every time. And if I miss, per chance that I miss, oh, if I miss, well, this Gloomstalker is also lucky because we get lots of feats. So we can re-roll any of those misses. I'm not expecting that we're going to miss all 4 times. I'm expecting we're going to hit every time. So that means that we do 23 damage per hit on average, which is, we're going to do a D8 plus 19. So that's 23.5 damage per hit, plus another 3.5 damage for a Hunter's Mark for 27 points of damage. Because we are a fighter who is a battle master, we have 5 superiority dice that we can use. We just use them. So we're going to use 4 of those for either maneuvering or distracting attacks. Now, why maneuvering attacks? Because that allows me to get my allies and my party members within the range that they want to be. And then distracting attacks for the last one, just it'll give somebody an advantage. So we're going to do 27 points of damage per hit. And then with those 4 different Battle Master attacks, we're going to be doing another 22 points of damage. Plus we get sneak attack once for an average of 7. Plus we get a D8, so it's 134 points of damage in those first 4 attacks. Now we're going to action surge. Because we are a fighter, we get the action surge once per short rest. You can take an additional action. On your turn, you can take 1 additional action. We are going to take the attack action. It's still our turn, which means the Gloomstalker attacks still happen. So we get 4 more attacks for another 27 per hit. Plus we got one more either distracting or maneuvering attack. So because we got 1 more die, we got 5 dice. So that's another 113 points of damage. Plus we get 1 more Gloomstalker attack, which means it's another D8, so it's 116 points of damage. So now we had 143 plus 113 is 256. Plus the 3 is 257. And if we have a potion of speed, we get another hasted attack. We only get 1 for another 27 points of damage for a grand total of 283 points of damage. And that's not critting. Because remember, because we are a assassin, and we have assassinate, and if we are playing by the rules, and surprise is there, every single one of those attacks is a crit, which would double almost all of that damage, almost all of it. All the dice would get doubled. So we are to now talking probably in the upper 300s to low 400s of damage, almost doing double the amount of damage that Vecna has. Vecna has no chance. Now, all the rest of the party members get to go as well. And now I have maneuvered all of them near him because I've been using a bunch of maneuvering attacks. So I am hoping that when this comes out, that the Vecna in here, they're going to take this into consideration, because I have sat down at many tables with players that play Gloomstalkers, and I don't want to say no, but they are hopelessly broken. There's such a dichotomy in 5th edition that there are some things that are just absolutely broken, like the Gloomstalker, and then there are some things that are absolutely hopeless. And I hope that these things get put into consideration, and I put this video out because I want people to understand that this is here and understand how this mechanic and these mechanics can skew a game and basically make this big boss fight into a very anticlimactic event. All right, that is what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.